Tilt your head over. All right, here we go. Now you have been officially baptized in the game. Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up. Expensive homie, it will be coming up, coming up. That change your life money, you dig? Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up. Expensive homie, it will be coming up, coming up. Really, really coming up.
It's a full-time job trying to suck a duck. We having money, man. Them bitches wanna fuck with us.
There we go, there we go. Get the lights up, man. Wipe your feet off at the door.
We in these streets, you gotta stay discreet. You wanna place the scene and see a soda. Miles was telling me you better chill out. Them niggas be peeled out, running in your house, slinging that metal, them deals out.
Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up. Expensive homie, it will be coming up, coming up. That change your life money, you dig? Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up. Expensive homie, it will be coming up, coming up. Really, really coming up. Take a sip of this game, let it saturate your brain. Taylor make your homework so we can match it with my name. Then attach it to your frame, right? Now you game tight. Ready, set, oh. You gon' check it back the same night. Now you breaking tricks and handling thousands. While these bitches on the blade doing the mannequin challenge. Standing there looking stupid cause they has no game to hit a trick with, bitch, and that's so lame. Now come and take a sip of this game.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain.
Coming up, coming up. That change your life money, you dig? Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up. Expensive homie, bitch. Coming up, coming up. Really, really coming up.
Your nails, dating boots coming from heaven, raising hell, burning through the loop. Gotta get the mail posted on 65th. Popping out another bitch, slim, thick, hella cute, greener than baby shit. Headed to 82nd, about to unleash my weapon. Lethal with the tongue, venom in my voice, deadly injections. All in hypnosis, it's 7 in my focus.
Fruit and chop.
When I've been the block, I've been noticed.
Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up. Expensive homie, it will be coming up, coming up. That change your life money, you dig? Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up. Expensive homie, it will be coming up, coming up. Really, really coming up.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and wipe your feet off at the door, man, when you step into a pimp's domain. You know, y'all already been walking through all kind of other shit throughout the day. You know what I mean? You might have stepped into some sucker shit. You might have stumbled across some bullshit, some punk shit, you know what I mean? Some lame shit. You got all kind of shit on your feet, man. So when you step into a pimp's domain, you got to wipe your feet off at the door. And what I mean by that, hit that like button. Hit that button that look like this, man. You know what I mean? Get all that other shit off your feet when you step into a pimp's domain. And you do that by wiping your feet off at the door. You do that by hitting that like thing, man. Go ahead and hit that like thing. You did. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Welcome, everybody. Y'all already know the first order of business, man. In Casa de Freeze, we got to put some love in our body, man. You know what I mean? We got to combat all the hate. Because it's a lot of hate floating around, you know what I mean? This is how you combat the hate. Putting this good old love shit in your body, man. You know, we constantly under fire with the hatred, man. It's hatred every which way you look, every which way you turn. It ain't hard to find hatred. You know what I mean? You don't have to be proactive to find hatred. All you got to do is be reactive. You know what I mean? And even if you ain't reactive, hatred is just going to, you know, it's going to find its way. It's going to wiggle its way, weasel its way into your life one way or another, man. But see, you got to be proactive with this love shit. This is something that you got to create. This is something that you got to seek out. This is something that you got to be intentional about, man. You got to put this love shit in your body every chance you get, man. See, this shit right here, we talking about trust tonight. This shit right here is tried and true. You can trust and believe that when you put this shit in your body, it's gonna do you justice. You can trust and believe that when you put this shit in your body, it's gonna do you no harm. That's one thing you can trust and believe. You know, other shit might taste good, other shit might feel good, but you can't trust it to do your body some justice though. This shit right here, tried and true. Yeah, man, you know, it's a lot of problems in not trusting people and trusting no one. And you know, raise your hand if you done been heartbroken. Raise your hand if you done had your feelings hurt. Raise your hand if you trusted somebody, you know, in one way or another, man, and they violated that trust. They misused that trust. They didn't appreciate that trust that you gave to them. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, I done had my trust violated. Let me raise both my hands. You dig? I done definitely had my trust violated, man. You know, my P don't stand for perfect. So I've made mistakes in trusting the wrong individuals too much, and then trusting the wrong individuals just at all. Some people just ain't to be trusted, right? And you know, oftentimes when we first feel that first sting of, you know, our trust being violated in a major way, you know, somebody that you never thought would do you wrong and they end up doing you wrong, right? I know I done been there, man. I've entrusted people who at the time when I entrusted them, I just, you know, I would have bet everything on them. You know, I would have never imagined them violating my trust in ways that they ended up violating my trust, right? So, you know, when that happens, it could be painful, right? And a lot of times when you experience that pain, your mind is, you program your mind to think, you know what, I don't want to trust anybody moving forward, especially not like that. I don't want to trust anybody like that again because I don't want to feel that pain again. I didn't like the way that shit felt. You know, I ain't fucking with that. I'm not trusting nobody like that no more, right? But see, it's a lot of problems with that, right? And one of the major problems with that is that you block your blessings in so many ways when you adopt that mindset. When you adopt the mindset of trust no one, you know, I ain't gonna trust nobody, you know, it's you block your blessings in so many ways. And then it doesn't help that, you know, unfortunately, a lot of urban culture promotes not trusting anybody. You know, it's so many memes on social media that tell you not to trust anybody. You know what I mean? It's so many memes on social media that tells the guys not to trust the girls. It's so many memes on social media that tell the girls not to trust the guys, and all of this shit, right? And it sounds real cool, especially, you know, in some of the ways people present it. You know, it can be real artistic. It can be very poetic. And it just sounds so beautiful when they say it. Yeah, man, I don't trust no one. You know what I mean? They say it with their bravado and they attitude, and you know what I mean? And it's especially bad when you see people that appear to be doing good in life. You know, they might be having success. They might be, you know, successful as an entertainer or an athlete or whatever the case may be, and they having money, and they telling you, you know, not to trust nobody. You know, a lot of celebrities have the experience of when they get money, you know, they want to put their people on. They want to look out for their people, and then they have situations where those people that they looking out for, that they're trusting in various different ways, they might trust them with a car. They might trust them with a house. They might trust them, with access to money. They just trust them in various different ways. And a lot of times those people violate that trust. And then, you have this celebrity with a strong power of influence promoting that you shouldn't trust anybody, right? But again, it's a lot of problems with that because you blocking blessings adopting that mindset. See, yeah, none of us like the feeling of our trust being violated and mistreated and misused and unappreciated, underappreciated, whatever the case may be, right? Nobody likes the way that shit feels. But you can't get so caught up in avoiding that feeling that you lose sight of the beauty of trusting the right people. Because what you don't understand is that there are people out there worthy of your trust. You want people to trust you? What makes you so much more trustworthy than everybody else? Like, why are you the only motherfucker left on the planet that should be trusted? Because on the same token, on the flip side of that token, you don't want to be the individual that nobody feels like they can trust every which way you go. Oh shit, here come this motherfucker, man. Let me hide the change in my ashtray, man. I gotta appear broke because this motherfucker, they gonna ask me for something and I ain't trying to, last time I gave them some money, they went and did some bullshit with it, man. Or damn, here comes such and such knocking at my door. Let me turn the lights off and turn the TV down and get low, man. I don't want them to think nobody home, man. I ain't trying to deal with them, like, you don't want to be that individual that people just feel like they can't trust, so naturally you want to, you fancy yourself to be somebody that's trustworthy, right? How is it that you're somebody that's trustworthy, but you got this mindset of don't trust nobody? You somebody too. Like, so if you thinking should nobody trust nobody, then like, why should a motherfucker trust you? Right? So the bottom line is, like I said, you don't want to get so wrapped up in avoiding trusting people and feeling the sting of those people misusing your trust. You don't want to get so wrapped up in avoiding that you lose sight of the possibility of trusting the right people, right? Because a lot of beauty in trusting the right people, and they're out there. But you got to know how to trust people responsibly. Trust is a big responsibility. It's like a car. If somebody can't drive or they haven't proven that they can drive, you're not just gonna toss them the keys. Like you might have a 10-year-old son. You're not gonna just toss your 10-year-old son the keys to your car and be like, yeah, man, go do your thing. You're not gonna trust him like that because he's only 10 years old, and 9 times out of 10, he ain't gonna get nowhere. He gonna crash that motherfucker the first few feet. So that's what you call trusting responsibly. You got to be responsible with your trust. You can't just pass it out like candy to whoever you feel like is cool. Oh man, you cool. I like your haircut, man. I'm gonna trust you like a motherfucker. Oh, you smell good. I like your perfume, girl. I'm gonna trust you with everything. Like, nah, it don't work like that, But it sounds funny, but a lot of times that's how it starts. You like something about somebody, like you might think that they funny. And you might like a person's sense of humor. They might know how to make you laugh. And that, that feeling you get from them making you laugh, you feel so good about it, you feel like they good at everything. But you might not know that this hilarious motherfucker is also an irresponsible motherfucker that can't be trusted. You know what I mean? So you don't think that far into shit until you get hurt. And what you should do when you get hurt is use that as an opportunity to grow and learn. because it's a challenge. You was challenged, when you got hurt. Okay, now the challenge is, being more responsible with your trust moving forward. But a lot of times we bow down in the face of that challenge. We turn around. We're not trying to deal with that challenge. You know what? It's just easier to not trust nobody. But see, this is the thing, right? When you don't trust nobody, the level of trust is low, right? And when trust is low, cost goes up and speed slows down. You know what I mean? When trust is low, the speed of things is low and the cost of things is up, right? Like, for instance, right? Fortunately, you ain't never been on the run, right? But some people have been on the run. And some people, you might know somebody that's been on the run before, right? And if you've either been on the run from the law or you know somebody who's been on the run from the law, that's a situation where you feeling like you really can't trust nobody because your freedom is on the line. And if you make the mistake of trusting the wrong individual just a little bit, that little bit of trust that you give to the wrong individual can cost you your freedom for however many years, or, you might be running from a life sentence or whatever the case may be, right? So you can't trust nobody. So when you can't trust nobody and you trying to, keep your identity on the low and things like that, that's a heavy burden on you. So it slows you down. So your level of trust is low, right? And your speed is also low because you're carrying this big ass burden of not being able to trust anybody. So your speed is low. When you carrying that heavy ass weight, your speed is low. And then the cost of things go up because you don't have the resource of people. You don't really have people as a resource. So you're going to spend a lot of extra money. You know what I mean? Because you don't have anybody to trust. So you're going to make up for that lack of people to trust, you're going to spend a lot of money. It's going to be costly. And not only are you going to be spending a lot of money, but you're going to be, you're going to be spending a lot of energy. It's going to be tiresome. You're going to be feeling like you can't sleep because if you get too comfortable sleeping, a motherfucker might kick your door in. You know what I mean? You hoping that didn't nobody see you. If you was on America's Most Wanted or, on some type of wanted shit, you hoping didn't nobody see you come in and out your door because you hoping they didn't report where you at and all this. So it's just heavy. So like I said, when trust is low, speed is low, cost is high, right? But on the flip side of that token, when trust is high, speed is high, cost gets low, right? You just like anybody who's been a part of a team situation or a unit situation, whether it's at a job and you work for a company and y'all got a project or an endeavor or whatever the case may be that y'all working together to make happen, whether it be an event or a concert or some shit like that, or whether you an athlete on a team, shit just moves faster when y'all trust each other. You know what I mean? When you trust that this individual is going to do their job, you trust that individual is going to do their job, you trust that individual is going to do their job, and they trust that you're going to do your job. Everybody trusts each other. It's a high level of trust. Y'all can move a whole lot faster. Y'all can get a whole lot more things done in a shorter time frame. Y'all can reach out a lot further. Your reach is much further than it would be if it was just you by yourself, right? You're not worried about nobody stabbing you in the back. You're not worried about somebody fucking up on they role and being incompetent and not knowing what they doing. Y'all all trust each other. Y'all all done prove to each other that y'all trustworthy. You know that this motherfucker know what they doing. This motherfucker, that motherfucker, they know you know what you doing. So the level of trust is high. So the speed is high. You know what I mean? And then also when the speed is high, you know, the cost is gonna go down. Because when you got people around you you can trust, you know, think it's a lot more resources involved. Y'all a lot more resourceful to each other. So the cost of things is gonna go down, right? You know, hey, listen, man. Hey, you know, that's why tricks exist. You know, hey, you know, so in some cases it's good that people live a life where it's a low level of trust. You know, man, you got a lot of tricks right now, man, that they can't trust their wife at home to do a good job giving them some head. You know what I mean? So that becomes costly, right? The trust is low. You know what I mean? So the wife, you and the wife, y'all off track, you know what I mean? So the speed of things, the frequency of your head is low. So the speed of at which you get head is low because the trust is low. And then you got to go outside and do some tricking, you know what I mean? So the cost of things goes up, right? You know what I mean? Because you like, this fucking bitch, man, like, damn, man, like last time I let this bitch give me some head, man, she was all half-assed with the shit. Then right when I was getting ready to bust, she started talking about her mouth hurt and all this old shit, man. Damn. Shit, now I gotta go out here and find somebody else, man. Pay somebody, you know what I mean, to hurry up and get me out the way, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit, you know? So, hey, man, I'm appreciative of some certain situations where it's a low level of trust, man, because, you know, if every trick just trusted their wife to satisfy them sexually, man, hey, you know, it wouldn't be no hoes in the world. But it's a beautiful thing because, you know, it's a worthy cost that's being paid, man, because hoes keep powerful men in the world sane. You know, they keep motherfuckers from going crazy. So it's a necessary evil, man. It's a beautiful thing, right? But that's just an example of when the trust is low, the speed is low, and the cost is high. You know what I mean? You know, because hoes is expensive, by the way. Don't be thinking hoes is cheap. You know what I mean? If you fucking with somebody that's cheap, you know what I mean? That's the pay less of hoes. You know what I mean? That's the generic brand of hoes. You know what I mean? Real hoes is expensive. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to pay for no expensive hoe, man. If you a trick, it's all good, man. Go top dollar. Get you the best, you know? But bottom line, man, when the trust is low, the speed is low, and the cost goes up. The cost is high. On the flip side of that token, you know, when the trust is high, the speed is high, and the cost is low. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's certain cliches in the lifestyle of pimping and hoeing in particular, right? That they sound real cool. But if you really take time to examine these cliches, you'll realize how senseless they are. You have a lot of cats in the game that subscribe to the theory of not trusting hoes. I don't trust these hoes. Can't trust these hoes. You know, this, that, and the third, right? But it just ain't suitable to the reality of pimping. Because the moment you engage with a hoe as a pimp, you're entrusting her with your freedom. You know, you giving her the power to destroy you. And that's what trust is, man. You know, when you trust somebody, you giving them the power to destroy you, but you trusting that they won't do it. That's what real trust is. You know what I mean? When you really trust somebody, you're giving them the power to destroy you, but you trust that they won't do it. And if you look at it from that perspective, you know, it sounds risky, it sounds dangerous, but I'm pretty sure you could think of at least one person that has the power to destroy you, but you just trust and believe that they never would. That one person might be your mama. That one person might be your child. That one person might be your homeboy or your homegirl. You know, but you got at least one person that has the power to destroy you, but you just trust them enough to know that they would never do that, right? That's what real trust is. You dig? So when you engage with a hoe, you're giving her the power to destroy you. So it would be foolish to give somebody that power that you don't trust. It just don't make no sense. I'm talking about in real life. In real life, the moment you accept a trap from a hoe, the moment you give a hoe instructions, the moment you do any kind of pimping, you giving her the power to destroy you. So if you're going to give somebody that power, it will be wise to trust that individual. It will be wise to understand whether or not this individual is trustworthy. You know, that's why, you know, it's so important for a pimp to interview a hoe. You know, it's crazy that certain individuals that call themselves pimps be allowing the hoe to interview them. When, like I say all the time, the pimping is the establishment, first of all. So, you know, what does the establishment look like allowing the employee, so to speak, to interview them? That's like you going on an interview for a job and the person is going to potentially hire you. You interviewing them and asking them all kind of questions during the interview, and they ain't asking you no questions because they want to hire you so bad. That don't make no sense. If you go apply for a job at McDonald's, the manager or whoever, the supervisor that you're going on an interview with, they not going to sit up there and let you ask them a bunch of questions about, you know, what's going on with McDonald's, and then at the end of it, you know, they still going to hire you and they ain't asked you no questions. They don't know your competence level. They don't know what your comprehension is like. They don't know your abilities. They don't know where you best suited at. They don't know nothing about you. But they gonna hire you because you came in there and asked them a bunch of questions. That's crazy. No, McDonald's is gonna ask you a bunch of questions to figure out if they can trust you to do the job that they want to hire you to do. Right? So, on the same token, when it comes to the pimping, you know, when you interviewing the hoe, you need to be trying to figure out, you got to ask the right questions. You need to be trying to figure out if this individual is to be trusted fucking with your pimping. See, like I say all the time, when you stand for less, you fall for more. And when you stand for not asking the right questions and not interviewing properly, you fall for all of the bullshit that comes with it. Might be a potential life sentence. You know what I mean? It could be something as small as a domestic violence, but they could be, you know, totally fabricated and trumped up. You know, it's all kind of shit. You know, you really need to be trying to figure out what this individual's intentions is. Why do they even want to fuck with you? You know, some bitches want to fuck with a pimp because they don't want the responsibility of, you know, taking care of things by themselves. You know, especially a well-established pimp, you know, that got everything in order and got hoes really reaching it to them and all of that. Some bitches just want to bail out. And some of them bitches that just want to bail out and don't want to do no hoeing and shouldn't be trusted be fine as a motherfucker. Be hella attractive, and you be thinking to yourself like, this bitch so motherfucking fine, she gonna get a bankroll on accident. All this bitch got to do is step outside and get in traffic, and she gonna get it on accident. But the bitch just might be, you know, as we say, beautiful trash. The bitch might just be a dud. And what do you look like as a pimp trusting a dud? Right? Trusting somebody that's not trustworthy. You know, that's a situation again that could potentially, you giving this individual the power to destroy you. And it's fucked up when you got other hoes that have proven themselves to be trustworthy, and they have the power to destroy you, but they don't even think like that. They don't even think about destroying a pimp. But you got this bitch over here that, just because she fine as a motherfucker, you just let everything else go out the window, and you've given her the power to destroy you. But she doesn't value you or her wifeys at all. Just imagine, okay, so that's a situation where the level of trust is low with that particular individual. Just imagine, how the speed of things can slow down. Imagine how the cost of things can go up. She can cost all of y'all, your whole household, she can cost you everything that you got going on. So you got to be careful, man. But on the flip side of that coin, like I say, man, it's a beautiful thing when the trust is high, the speed is high, and the cost of things is low. Go ahead, put some love in your body with a pimp one time while I take this small love break. It's 146 of y'all in here, but only 118 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the pimp's door when you stepped into a pimp's domain. Do a pimp a favor, man. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step up in here. What I mean by that, hit that like button. Step out the chat real quick. Hit that like button. Step back into the chat, and we resume. You did. While we chop this good game. Hold on. The Bell, good looking with the $5 holla. Funny, we got a high level of distrust, but a high level of barebacking. Hey, exactly. That's a high level trust situation right there. Because when you bareback a bitch, you giving her the power to destroy you. You know what I mean? Well, really, y'all giving each other the power to destroy each other. She'll give her body before bread, shaking my head, values out of order. Man, that's so real. That is so real, man. Values all out of order. Hey, I say that shit all the time, right? And anybody in the game, any gentleman of the game can relate, where you've had a female on your line talking like she want to fuck with you, but y'all ain't never been around each other physically. She done seen you on social media or whatever the case may be, right? And she get to talk about, yeah, I want to fuck with you, but I don't know about just sending you this money when, I got to get to know you and this, that, and the third. But a bitch will get in a car with a total stranger to only make like $100. And bitch, like, do you think about all the shit you entrusting this trick with? When you get in the car with him, you don't know nothing about this motherfucker. And 9 times out of 10, if a bitch is worried about what you gonna do with the trap, if she sent it to you because she ain't took the time to get to know you and all this shit, if her mind is working like that, then, it's also gonna be careless 9 times out of 10 when she dealing with a trick. 9 times out of 10 is gonna be careless in that situation too. So, it just don't make no sense, man. A lot of people don't even look at trust as like a real, like, tangible thing. A lot of people don't look at trust as something you need to be responsible with. A lot of people think that it's just like a feeling, and there's nothing more to it than just how you feel, but hey, there's a lot of power involved when you give somebody trust. When you give your trust to somebody, you giving that individual a lot of power. And as we know, that power could be used for good, evil, or whatever the case may be, right? So you want to be responsible with that. It's a responsibility in it. JS, good looking with the $2 holla. The only thing I trust is my balls and my word. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the exact shit that I'm talking about, man. Shit that just sounds good, but it really don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Like, your balls might lead you into some bullshit. You know what I mean? Because your balls might be, you might be making decisions based on how you feel. You know? And, you know, it's a whole lot of tough motherfuckers. It's a whole lot of motherfuckers that had balls that's locked up right now, that's dead right now, that's maimed right now, you know? And, you know, you saying that you trust your word, but that doesn't mean that other people trust your word either. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you trust your word because it's your word. But what about other people trusting your word, though? Is that something that you even concerned with? Is that something that you even think about? You know, is that something that you even, you know, hold as a value? Because if you hold your word as a value, you know, you're gonna make sure that other people can trust your word, so you're gonna be responsible with that word, you know? Like, you know, yeah, Tony Montana, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I got, you know, Tony Montana as the thumbnail. You know, because it's a lot of cliches, like I said, in our lifestyle. It's fucked up that, you know, things are so dumbed down that we'll just take anything that sounds good and just perpetuate it. And we don't even think about how much sense it makes or not. A lot of shit that we say that sounds good in the urban culture is stupid than a motherfucker. You know, we just say a lot of shit that just it don't make no sense. You know, like, for instance, right, in the game, you know, this is just an example of something that, like, it really don't make sense when you think about it for real, right? Pimps in the game, we have a saying that, you know, well, not we, because I don't subscribe to that theory, but a lot of motherfuckers say, I like who likes me, right? But just think about that. I like who likes me. Just, like, really examine that, like, break that down. Right, actually don't trust me, trust my track record. Dig that. But just, like, break that down, right? You know, I like who likes me. Think about how much sense that makes. I like who likes me. Anybody could like you. You know, those of us that really have pimped in the game, see, everybody try to make everything sound sweet and sound like perfect and make it seem like they ain't never had no, like, hard times in the game or no fucked up experiences, you know, but shit ain't always sweet like that. Ty Love, good looking with the $20 holla. You're amazing. I appreciate you. You amazing too. Good looking. But, you know, like I said, you got a lot of cats that on social media, they want everything to look perfect. You know, exposing your struggle is something that's, like, frowned upon. You know, people is so scared to acknowledge any type of struggle or, you know, show any type of struggle or even talk about any kind of struggles that they done been through. Everybody try to make it seem like so perfect, right? And I don't give a fuck what nobody say, man. Like, if you really actively out here pimping, you knocking hoes on a regular basis, some of them bitches ain't gonna be cool. You know what I mean? I like who likes me. What if the individual that likes you is just a lazy motherfucker? Message. Message. Hold on. Let me get my shit right. But yeah, what if the motherfucker that like you is just a lazy motherfucker? They don't want to clean up after they self. They feel like they too good to have to clean up after they self. They just a messy motherfucker, like don't want to cook, don't want to clean. You like them because they giving you some money. They want to hoe for you. I like who likes me. You know what I mean? What if the motherfucker who like you, you know, they put a good mask on in the beginning, but you find out shortly after having them for a little while that they're a dope fiend. They got a terrible drug habit, but they like you though. You like them too? Because they got a, you know, even though they got a drug habit that's like just, you know, makes them totally dysfunctional and untrustworthy, you like that individual? What about a broke ass bitch that don't never have no money, don't never want to get hoeing, but she like you? You like her too? I don't like everybody like me, man. I'll be the first to tell you. And see, this is something that's contrary to the mindset of most individuals in the game. Most motherfuckers in the game, they gonna tell you, I like who like me. 90% of the pimps in the game is gonna tell you that. Probably 95%. They gonna tell you, I like who likes me. T stay on. I don't like everybody that like me. I really don't. On that note, yeah, man, but the bell once again with the $5 holler. People that don't trust aren't used to calling shots and usually make bad decisions. A boss has trust with his evaluation process. For real. Because, you know, like, listen to what you're saying, a boss, right? A boss is somebody with a lot to lose. A real, true, actual boss. You know, a lot of motherfuckers call themselves a boss. That's another thing that sound good, but people don't really think about what it means to be a boss. But a real boss is, you know, responsible for people. You know, a real boss empowers people. A real boss adds value to people. You know, so when you have that type of position as a boss, like you said, you know, trust is a part of the evaluation process. You know, because you know what you bring to the table as a boss. You know how you're going to make this individual's life better as their boss. So you gotta know that individual is even worthy of that kind of opportunity. And a big part of knowing that is knowing whether or not you could trust that individual. Because once again, if you bless somebody with that opportunity and that power and they not trustworthy, the level of trust is going to be low, the speed is going to be low, and the cost is going to be high. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in that situation. You really don't. It's just a beautiful thing, man. You know, like I said, it's unfortunate that a lot of people with the don't trust nobody mindset don't understand what it feels like to be in a high level trust relationship with somebody. When you got a high level of trust between people, man, it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful thing when you know somebody got your back. And, you know, not only do they have your back, but, you know, they going to go hard to make sure that you straight, that they adding value to your life, you know, and then you got the same type of intentions for them, you know, and y'all just trust each other when it comes to that. You know, it's just a beautiful thing. You know, and hey, I'm going to tell you, see, you got certain individuals who have the mindset of not trusting anybody, right? And those individuals, a lot of times, they end up violating the trust of one of the best people, if not the best people that they can have in their life. You know what I mean? Because when you had a mindset of not trusting nobody, you don't value trust. It's not a value to you. And when you don't value something, you're going to be careless with it. You're going to be irresponsible with it. So you're going to have people come into your life that are some of the best people that can come into your life. Potentially some of the most valuable people that can come into your life. But because you don't trust nobody, you also not thinking about being a trustworthy individual. You just think people should trust you because you. But you're not thinking about earning somebody's trust. So when you're not thinking about earning somebody's trust, you're not thinking about, you don't even think it's a possibility for somebody to earn your trust. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have people come into your life that could potentially be some of the most valuable people that you ever had in your life, and you're going to misuse that trust. You're going to violate that individual's trust, and you ain't going to realize it until it's too late. It's a motherfucker watching right now. I already know. You know who I'm talking to. You know I'm talking to you, whoever you may be. You know what I mean? You probably have somebody in your life that you could reflect back on and be like, damn, that was the best thing going. And I really didn't trust them the way that I was supposed to. And I didn't appreciate the way they trusted me. And because I didn't appreciate the way they trusted me, I violated that trust. I misused that trust. I treated that trust like trash. And that individual is gone. And they over there with somebody else that was trustworthy, and they living a beautiful life. While I'm over here still dealing with scumbags. Because, I don't recognize the responsibility of trust. I don't recognize the value in trust. So, yeah. I know it's somebody in here who know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure that, yeah. Yeah, I've misused somebody's trust before. Like I say, man, in this lifestyle that we live as pimps and hoes, sometimes you have situations that there's a right pimp for the wrong hoe, and then you have situations where you have the wrong pimp for the right hoe. I'm real enough to say that there's been times early in my game where I was the wrong pimp for the right hoe. Right? And I didn't appreciate that right hoe's trust. So therefore I misused that trust. I underappreciated that trust. I undervalued that. Well, I didn't value that trust at all. You dig? And because I didn't value that trust and I was so caught up in my ego, you know what I mean? Because sometimes your ego will have you caught up to the point where you don't value somebody's trust too. And I can recall a time in particular that I still think about all the time, man. And this is a situation that was like almost 14 years ago, right? Early in the game, where I had a young lady that trusted me like a motherfucker, right? But I didn't recognize the beauty in the trust that she was giving to me, right? And a big part of the reason why I didn't recognize that the beauty in that trust is because I was so caught up in my ego. And I violated that young lady's trust, and she got on. You dig? And that was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, man. So and as you can see, or as you can imagine, after that situation, the level of trust was low, so the speed was low, and the cost went up. You dig? Trust is a beautiful thing, man. And it's a beautiful thing when you recognize trust for what it is. When you recognize trust as a value, when you recognize trust as something that's real, that you have to be responsible with. And then when you recognize the power in trusting the right people and being the right person to trust. When you recognize the power in that shit, man, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, you know. And don't carry on after this video, man, and you soak this game up. Don't carry on, even if you might still be dealing with some pain because somebody violated your trust. Don't carry on after this moment with the mindset of not trusting nobody. Learn how to be responsible with your trust. Learn how to value your trust. You know what I mean? Because something as simple as a car. If you got a car and you worked for that car and you earned that car, and now that car is in your possession and you drive it around, you use that car to handle your business and get where you got to go, you value that car. You're not going to just trust that car with, you know, with any kind of individual. You know what I mean? So if you're going to treat a car like that, you know, how much more are you going to treat your life, you know, as something that you got to be responsible with? Because that car, you're going to be responsible with that. You got to be responsible with your trust. Your trust is way bigger than any material thing that you can have. You dig? Because if you know how to be responsible with your trust and you know how to delegate your trust responsibly, any material thing that you might have, you can get that back and then some. It's 184 of y'all in here, but only 177 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door, man. Do a pimp a favor, man. Wipe your feet off at the door. Hit that like button one time, please, and thank you. JS once again with the $2 holla. I trust my track record in the track record of others. I dig it. Hey, but you know what though? It's bigger than even that, right? Because everybody is different. So your experience with somebody is going to be totally different than somebody else's experience with that same somebody, right? So, you know, a track record is it could serve as a beautiful thing, right? But what you really got to understand about a person that's going to help you to trust them is learning somebody's intentions. Because somebody can have a beautiful track record, but they might have the wrong intentions. You know? And it might not mean that, you know, they want to do you wrong or do you harm, but it's just, you know, y'all's intentions might be wrong for each other. Y'all might be looking for two totally different things. Y'all might have two totally different intentions for whoever you want to get involved with, right? So you got to understand somebody's intentions, man. Like, and it ain't always easy to figure out what somebody's intentions are, you know. But when you, like I said, when you responsible with your trust, when you treating your trust like your baby, and you not just going to pass your baby off to whoever, anybody and everybody, you know what I mean? You're going to want to learn about somebody's intentions, right? So the track record is cool, you know, but you got to learn a motherfucker's intentions, man. For real, for real. Reading these comments, man. Excuse my pimping. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up in a few minutes, man. Once again, okay, I see y'all. I appreciate y'all getting them likes up, man. You know, hopefully 8 more people wipe their feet off at the door, get these likes over 200 before we get up out of here. Are you into crypto? Nah, I'm not really savvy with crypto. I'm not really familiar with it. I don't know. I can't really say nothing good or bad about it. Because I'm not the most familiar with it. Okay, y'all done got the feet wiping at the door over 200, man. Good looking. I appreciate y'all on that. Ulterior motives. Yeah, you just never know. You know what I mean? Somebody might have a beautiful track record, but they might have ulterior motives. Now, you know, 9 times out of 10, if somebody got a good track record, it's going to be unlikely that they have ulterior motives. But what I'm saying is the intentions could just be totally wrong for what you want, right? Like in the game, pimping and hoeing, you got a lot of hoes that choose pimps, but a lot of it's you know, ain't nothing new in the game. You know, so it's not no new revelation or nothing like that, but more so than ever, the volume of girls in the game that really are girlfriends at heart, they not really hoes at heart. They prostitutes, yeah, they selling pussy, they getting down, they handing their money over to their man or whatever the case may be. But a lot of girls really want to be your girlfriend at heart. And they know that in order to have anything to do with a pimp, you know, they're going to have to do some hoeing or some prostituting or whatever, right? But they don't really want to be your hoe. They want to be your girlfriend. They want to have you all to themselves and all of that, right? Now, her intentions ain't really, you know, harmful, so to speak. They're not really like dangerous just in and of itself, but y'all have 2 totally different intentions. You know, a pimp want hoes. You know what I mean? Or you have it the other way around, where, you know, this hoe, she really wants some pimping. But, you know what I mean? You so wrapped up in her, you know, sexually or whatever the case may be, you know, you want this to be your girlfriend. You know what I mean? Or like we talked about last night, you know what I mean? You might want her to be your wife, man. And she don't, and you want to get into a situation where you got her scared of that nasty divorce. You know what I mean? So you got her in bondage. You got her in contract. You know what I mean? You got her registered in your motherfucking name, man. And we already know, man, that's contrary to this motherfucking game. Sevy Sev, good looking with the $10 holla. Thank you for all of the enlightenment. Been sharing your videos with other young ladies. I think other young ladies are receptive. They back wearing heels down and around. Dig that, Sevy Sev. That's a beautiful thing. You know, I like to hear that. You know what I mean? That lets me know that I'm, you know, serving some type of justice to the game. But look, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. As always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for wiping your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain. I appreciate you for sharing. I appreciate all of your comments. I appreciate you subscribing and hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate your support in every which way that you come with it. But you know, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up, man, and I'll tap in with y'all much sooner than later, man. If y'all out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. Freeze is it. I'll holler. And on the way out, man, go ahead and put some of this in your body. This good old love shit, you dig? I'll holler.